Well,
Welcome back, everybody.
we're welcome. We're doing the vertical show this time. It's not the vertical. It looks vertical to us, but it's not vertical. It's actually horizontal. It looks like we're lying in a bed or something. It's no fun. Let's all right. Look at this.
Yes.
All right. Are we doing it?
Yeah.
All right. We're good. Oh, this was all your idea, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So send your complaints.
Well,
And she'll send you an autograph picture in a self-addressed envelope.
yeah. Yeah, I'll be happy to sign y'all's autograph if y'all want. So.
The only autograph, my favorite autograph is the back of a check.
Yeah.
And so we're almost at the end of March, and April Fool's Day is coming up.
Yeah.
Your shoes untied.
Well, April Fool.
Remember that?
Yeah.
We didn't prank in a big way when we were kids. That was about the extent of it.
Yeah.
Extent of it.
Also, just like it says, there's a spider on your head.
The spot, yeah. What's that ugly thing on your face? Oh, I'm sorry, that's your face. Oh, by the way, speaking of ugly, there were so many beautiful women at this GalaxyCon. There was a great ratio of beautiful women and ugly men. It's like Fox News. I mean, you should have. If you're an ugly man and know it, go to the. You might find the girl of your dreams there who loves Star Trek or likes to dress up as Vampira or something.
Yeah.
I didn't want to leave. I actually had to take someone home, and I didn't. And I was planning to go back, but it's too late. In the day I would have. I think it's open till like 2 or 3 in the morning. People are still partying and dancing and everything.
Wow.
And they kind of scare you when you go to these things. They say you can only eat here and you can't leave the place, but you can leave the place. You had to wear a badge.
Yeah.
You know, that thing around your neck that got you in and got you out.
Yeah.
And I tried going in and I had it in my pocket because I didn't want to be photographed with that thing on.
Yeah.
I don't mind wearing it. I just didn't like wearing it. And then I forgot when I walked out that I had it in my pocket. So they said you need a badge to come in. And I said, like the Treasure Sierra Madre, goes, we don't need no stinking badges. That's Yeah, oh, by the way, yeah, that's Treasure Sierra Madre. I think it's Spike Lee's favorite movie. Yeah. And what have you been up to? What have you been doing?
Well, I've been playing records and been busy with theater and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm coming up with a show at the end of April
Great.
called The Rainbow Fish Story.
That's right.
And you're coming to it, so
I certainly hope so. Yeah.
the shows are on April 20.
Yeah.
I'll send you the info.
We'll put it and stay tuned to this stay tuned to this page for more of our exciting adventures.
Exactly.
Now, you have you're talking about a movie you saw and you have the soundtrack to it.
Yeah, I saw it
Let's talk
years
about
ago.
it. Yeah, so
It's a really good movie.
yes,
Almost Famous.
almost famous.
It's a good movie.
You don't see your lovely face there. There it is.
I haven't seen it in years, but
Yeah.
it's a really good movie, and the
Yeah.
soundtrack is really good.
Yeah.
It's got a lot of old rock and roll songs and everything.
Who's the girl on the front?
I think it's Kate Hudson.
Kate Hudson.
Yeah.
That's Goldie Hawn's daughter.
Yes.
Goldie Hawn. If I remember right, Kate was. You can put it down. I can't. I got carpal tunnel syndrome. I can't use this. I can't. I used to use this hand all the time. Now I have to use my right hand. So anyway, so let me tell you about Kate Hudson. Kate Hudson's Goldie Hawn's daughter.
Yep.
And she was in this movie. I think I may have seen her in something before then, but that was the first thing. She was nominated for an Oscar. I'm at a Oscar party I mean, local. I mean, just my friends. Not we're watching it, and Kate Hudson is on there, and I have a friend named Donna Parker, and she was a muse, sort of like Kate Hudson was in the day. Beautiful woman, Donna, but she was really something, in the day when she lived in New York and in California and in London and all these places. She met all these famous people, and she claims that the character that Kate Hudson played in Almost Famous was based on her. So then, of course, I didn't know that. It makes sense now that I know that. And so we were rooting for Kate Hudson to win. Simply, it was almost like seeing our friend Donna win. But as it turned out, she didn't win. Kate Hudson didn't win. Kate Hudson is in so many good movies, all those romantic comedies and everything, and everyone likes Kate Hudson. This is how it kind of worked. Goldie Hawn kind of had all those parts in those lovely comedies and romantic movies, and even a good actress, won an Oscar once. And then she was when she got a little older, she was replaced with Meg Ryan. Meg Ryan got all those sort of same parts. And then Meg Ryan kind of aged out of it, and then for revenge, I guess they gave Goldie Hawn's daughter the parts. Right. So it's a new generation. I guess Kate Hudson has kids, and they'll be replacing her eventually.
Yeah.
So tell me about that album.
It plays old.
What's on the album? You read it out. Yeah. It's like what's in it. Oh, it's a 2 album.
Yeah, it's 2 albums.
Yeah, it has mainly already popular songs.
Yeah, they play in the movie and stuff.
Yeah.
America by Simon and Garfunkel.
Yeah.
Sparks by The Who.
Yeah.
It Wouldn't Have Made Any Difference by Todd Rundgren.
Yeah.
I've Seen All Good People, Your Move, Yes by Yes.
Yeah.
Fuel Flows by the Beach Boys.
Yeah, so it has, and that's just the first side. It also has songs by Rod Stewart and the Allman Brothers and Elton John. The Tiny Dancer, I remember, was in there.
Yeah.
That's a big scene in there.
Yeah.
A lot of these songs, believe it or not, are not. It's a good album in the sense that, a lot of times you get these soundtrack albums to movies that have popular songs in them, and they're just the same songs. The same, I feel good.
Yeah.
I mean, every movie. Or that, oh yeah.
Yeah.
That yellow song that's in Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Yeah.
So you get all these, so it doesn't take a long time. It doesn't take all that long before you buy these soundtrack albums with popular singers in them that you get pretty much the same songs over and over and over again.
Yeah.
But who else was in that movie?
Who else?
I mean, who was the actors in the movie?
Let me see. I don't think it says on here.
Well, I recognize Billy Crudup.
Yeah, I know him, and I know Kate Hudson, of course.
Kate Hudson was in it. I remember that guy, Phil. And also Jimmy Fallon's in it.
Yeah.
Jimmy Fallon, I think, was on Saturday Night Live around that time.
Yeah.
So he was immediately recognized in that film. It's a very good film. It's based on Cameron Crowe's life. He was the guy who wrote and directed it. He's made a lot of good movies like Fast Times at Ridgemont High and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And he used like his experiences writing for Rolling Stone as a teenager, like 18 or so, so that was Philip Seymour Hoffman was in it, played Lester Bangs in it.
Yeah.
And that's the first movie I saw with Philip Seymour Hoffman that I said, oh, he's a good actor.
Kate Hudson was one of the groupies.
That's right. Well, Kate Hudson, like I said, was they didn't call themselves groupies, they called themselves muses. They inspired these guys to do better work.
Yeah.
Groupie is kind of pejorative.
Yeah.
You like the movie Almost
Yes.
Famous? Yeah. A lot of good music in it. I mean, it's a very entertaining film. I think it's Cameron Crowe's best film.
Yeah.
He also made Jerry Maguire and I forget the name of the movie he made, but he got into he cast as an Asian woman Emma Stone, and now it's kind of, if you're going to have a person with a disability or a person of an ethnicity or something, you got to hire that person.
Yeah, right.
Which I don't, They're even saying that about Jewish people. They said a lot of actors in movies that play Jews aren't Jewish, and I said, well, that's what acting is all about.
Yeah. True.
I've been in so many plays. I was in a play
So
last
have I.
year, A Coney Island Christmas,
Oh yeah.
and I played an old Jewish man, and that was the first time I ever played a Jewish person.
I played in that too.
unless you count Joseph in the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat. I played Joseph, but but he wasn't. I mean, he's in the Bible, but
Yeah.
he wasn't like a New York Jewish kind of guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
A Jewish guy from Brooklyn.
Yeah.
So what else do you have there?
I got a guy named Scott Baio.
Scott Baio. I remember Scott Baio. Show the picture of him. What a handsome young man. Yeah, he was the bee's knees at one time. Yeah.
Yeah, back in the
He's actually still a good-looking guy.
early 80s.
He's much older than I am, and he hasn't really changed a whole lot. He looks pretty much the same.
Yeah.
He must do. Those Italian guys, they still have the good head of hair, and
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
maybe there's something in the olive oil and the tomato sauce, the anchovies. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
But so tell me, what are any of these? I don't see. What type of album is this? Is all original music?
Yeah.
There's no. I didn't read any
No.
songs I'm familiar with.
No.
A lot of these guys, when they do these albums in the day, they would sing pop songs that were already famous. I remember Leif Garrett became very popular, and Sean Cassidy by singing songs like "The Do Run Run" and "Run Around Sue" and
These
songs
are
like
ori-
that.
these
And so if you hated them, you could still probably like the
These
songs
are
they were singing.
original songs.
Those are original songs. Now, Scott Baio, what do you know about Scott Baio?
Well, he was in this movie called Foxes with Jodie Foster.
Yes, that's actually a good film.
Yeah, it is.
It has Sherry Curry was in it from
Yeah.
the Joan Jett band.
Yeah, yeah.
And there's also that's a really good movie. It's a kind of a true to life movie about girls at that time, the
Yeah.
70s or 80s or something. I forget when I saw it.
Yeah.
Foxes is really good, and Scott Baio was in it. Scott Baio was
course.
also in Zapped.
Yeah.
It's kind of a lousy film about a
haven't
guy
seen
who
that
uses
one.
his brains to get girls to take off their clothes, zap them off.
I haven't seen that one, but I heard it's lousy.
Yeah, take my word for it. The only good part is when the girls finally are naked, then you can.
Yeah.
That's the last 10 minutes of the movie.
Yes.
They talk about it until then.
At first, I didn't know that Scott Baio was a singer.
Singer.
The reason why I grabbed this album,
Yeah.
because I didn't know he was a singer, and I just I just want to hear him anyway. So.
Well, actually, in theory, you could make anyone into a singer. I mean, I'm a singer, but I'm not. We were talking last week about Marlon Brando in Guys and Dolls,
Yeah.
and Johnny Depp in Sweeney Todd,
Yeah.
and they actually do good performances and not so bad singing. They for non-singers.
Yeah.
Many times when they're in movies, they're dubbed. There's certain actors that are always dubbed. I think. Sid Charisse was always dubbed.
And Nicole Kidman was dubbed
In Moulin Rouge?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Moulin
Well, that doesn't
Rouge.
surprise me. If I was in a musical like Audrey Hepburn
Yeah,
was,
exactly.
and they had to dub me, I would say, okay, you can dub me,
But I
don't.
want to see my own voice.
Huh?
I want to use my own voice.
Well, no, dubbing you with your own voice is not typically dubbing. If you're going to get a different voice, I don't want a guy that sounds sort of like me to sing a little better than me. I want like Placido Domingo or Jose Carreras
Yeah.
or somebody
Yeah.
with a great or Jose or Josh Groban to dub my voice.
Exactly. Yes. Yes. Yes.
I'm not going to sit around and if you're going to get a guy that's almost as lousy a singer as I am, then I'll sing.
Yeah. Exactly.
But actually, it's getting to the point, like, I think we were talking about this, is that now I'm the singer in my family. My sisters were all in the choruses and the choir and everything, and due to my being in musicals and being on and doing karaoke and all this stuff, and being called upon to sing and leading people in sing-alongs and stuff. I've become the singer of my family, which was unheard of. And I think as you get older, I'm not saying your voice gets better, but people tend to tolerate you singing.
Yeah.
Like George Burns.
I'm the singer. I'm the singer in my family too.
You're the singer in your family.
Yeah. Because my grandfather was a singer.
There you go. Well, tell us about grandfather.
My grandfather, he used to sing, dance, play piano, everything.
Wow.
Yeah.
What was his big? What was his go-to numbers?
Clang, clang, clang with the trolley.
Oh yeah.
He said he used to sing that on the radio and in school.
Yeah.
So he used to be a radio singer back in the day.
Oh wow! Oh, he used to sing. He used to go to the radio station and sing. Yeah.
Yeah.
In those days, radio stations, would hire you to sing there. You see them in the old movies and stuff, the barn dances and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they, there's nothing, and live performances, like I mentioned earlier, is the greatest thing. And Scott Baio, I think, let's face it, Scott Baio was on Happy Days.
Yeah.
And then he had Joni Loves
right
Chachi.
Yeah.
And I don't know what else. Oh, Charles in Charge. He did that.
Yeah, I remember Scott Baio was in Happy Days, but I forgot to mention that.
And what happened was, in those days, I guess the 70s and 80s, if you had any sort of popularity, they trotted you into a studio and you recorded an album. One guy actually did very well, was David Hasselhoff.
Oh, wow.
I mean, he became the most popular singer in Germany.
Yeah, I know he was a singer. Yeah, wow.
He sang at the Berlin Wall when it was coming down. I once asked somebody, I said, why is David Hasselhoff so popular in Germany? I said, what songs does he sing that the Germans love him so much? And some guy yelled out, the Horst Wessel song, which is a Nazi patriotic song. And then I said, how about Deutschland über alles? He goes, he might sing that too.
Speaking of David Hasselhoff,
yeah.
He was an actor on Young and the Restless, but way back in the 70s. Yeah. And I think he sung the theme song at one point.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, to the Young and the Restless.
Yeah, they all started.
So he was. I think he was mostly popular in that show.
Yeah. And then Knight Rider and all.
Oh yeah,
Baywatch.
Knight Rider.
I mean that
Baywatch,
over the years,
yes.
And that's what most people know. And David Hasselhoff. So then there was another one. He actually became big. Some guys don't become big hit singers. Telly Savalas.
Yeah.
Telly Savalas, Don Johnson.
He loves you, baby.
Yeah. Well, let me tell you. My dad came home with a bunch of albums he bought at a yard sale, and one of them was Telly Savalas.
Oh wow, really? I didn't know Telly Savalas made an album.
He actually had a #1 song in England, which was, recorded in America, called "If a Picture Paints 1,000 Words."
Oh yeah.
Then why can't I? But he didn't really sing it. They just played the music and he just talked to it like a recitation.
Oh yeah.
And actually, in its own way, he put it over. But the joke was once he appeared at the Emmy Awards, and a comedian said that the best part of last night's Emmy Awards. Telly Savalas' appearance, and he didn't sing. Then I think after that, maybe 2 years later, he was on the Oscars, and they began the show with him singing, and he sings the song we sang last week from Guys in the I Got the Horse Right Here. His name is Paul, and he comes out and said, "Hey, it's Kojak singing." And then I think it was, and then it's a round, it's a fugue. So then it was Dom DeLuise started singing, and then Pat Morita started singing, and then they all came on stage and sang at the end of it together. And the words were all had to do with the Oscars. They had new words to it. It wasn't the original song. And my mom said, yeah, they took the 3 actors in Hollywood who couldn't sing and put them together to sing at the Academy Awards. I guess that was part of the joy of it.
Right.
And so they would, and like I said, they would take they would actually sometimes they would put it with duets with people. I think Don Johnson and people like that would have like Willie Nelson on the album or Barbra Streisand on the album with them.
Yeah.
Someone who is a good singer, and that would put it over. Bruce Willis had the Pointer Sisters on a hit song he did, "Respect Yourself."
Yeah.
Which I think is a song by the Staple Singers.
Yeah.
And what was weird was, it was a big hit for Bruce Willis. He sings like the first stanza, and then one of the Bonnie Pointer, I think, starts singing the rest of it, and then even in the video, you don't see Bruce Willis again. Meaning that they almost give up on Bruce Willis about halfway through the song.
I think Bruce Willis, I think it was around 1987.
Yeah.
American Music Awards. He played the harmonica.
Yeah.
I forgot what the song was called.
Yeah. He there's probably that song. He had a couple of albums, and then I mean, if you like that type of singing.
I think that's what he played.
But you have to remember.
I forgot what the song was called, but I think that's what he played.
We're kind of fed up with the music business and the record album business, because you used to have a hit song and then you'd buy the album, and then you just there's 10 songs in this album and 8 of them aren't worth listening a second time to.
Yeah. Yeah.
So anyway, and that's so Scott Baio, Scott Baio. I only have one last thing to say about stuff. I have Shrek.
Yeah, Shrek. That's a good soundtrack.
I don't. It's a good soundtrack, and it has. Let me tell you what's on it. It has like this song by Smash Mouth, All Star, which was a big hit. But it also has people on it like they have Smash Mouth singing "I'm a Believer," the Monkey song.
Oh yeah.
By Neil Diamond.
I heard that one.
And they also have "You Belong to Me" by Jason Wade, by the Joe Stafford hit. You know, a lot of people, Patsy Cline sings it. So this is actually pretty good. But the most interesting song on here is "Hallelujah," the Leonard Cohen song, sung by Rufus Wainwright.
Oh, yeah.
This might, I think, appearing in Shrek did a lot for that song. And there's actually a whole documentary you should see called "Hallelujah," and it's the first half is pretty much the life of Leonard Cohen, and the second half is is how the song became like probably the most liked song around, loved song around. Almost every year on American Idol or The Voice, somebody winds up singing it.
I think I may have a Leonard Cohen Greatest Hits album.
Yeah.
I don't think it has "Hallelujah" in it.
No, I think as they mentioned in the show, the documentary I saw, that the song was it came about. It was on a album that the studio at Columbia Records or something didn't want to release. The Columbia Records is famous for that, not wanting to release it's not up to our standards, you know. Even though,
yeah.
And so what happened was he put it on another album that didn't really see too much, and then I think it became popular. Other people started singing it, and he used to sing it in his shows. I think even Bob Dylan started singing it in his concerts.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if he ever recorded it, but then of course Rufus Wainwright. It was in Shrek, and then Jeff Buckley started recording it, and then he died, and his version is very good. You know, if you remember Leonard Cohen, he has that voice like this. He goes, "Hallelujah, hallelujah."
Oh yeah.
And I told the story that I wanted "Hallelujah" played at home, and all I knew was the Leonard Cohen version, and somebody said that's the worst version of that song I ever heard. I said that's the original version. You got to hear the Jeff Buckley version, and I heard the Jeff Buckley version. And it's sublime. It's beautiful.
Wow.
And it's a beautiful song. And what happened was now it's become don't come to karaoke around Christmas time, because it's actually people consider it a Christmas song. So I think I'll get the people the eggheads and the intellectuals to love me if I sing, instead of singing Rudolph or Santa Claus is Coming to Town, I'll sing "Hallelujah." Yeah. And then, of course, everyone stops to hear anyone sing "Hallelujah" because it's such a great song. And I found out how to sing it. It's a very hard song to sing, but this is a trick to singing that song. When you begin it, and it's like about 10 stanzas to it. It's actually a lot of stanzas, but it could be 5 stanzas or 10. Depends what karaoke version you see or any version you want to sing. What happens is. You begin it like Leonard Cohen, singing it really low, and then by the time you know when the last stanza is coming up, then you start you move it up to the
Hallelujah.
Yeah, exactly. Because if you start off singing it like like Jeff Buckley, you're going to wind up singing it like Leonard Cohen by the end. Right. Hallelujah! I can't keep this.
Right.
So that was so that I don't even know how I got this CD. I think somebody gave it to me. I think some kid, like one of my nieces or nephews, they said, "Well, Kevin likes music and he likes movies, and I like music and movies, and I like Shrek. I like kid stuff. Shrek is like the it's from DreamWorks, and it's like the Jewish version of Pixar."
Actually, when I was in Universal Studios, I did meet Shrek.
Shrek.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I was going to get. I got a picture with him, but
Yeah.
you had to purchase the photo. They
Shrek?
wouldn't let me take it in my
The
camera.
Shrek is a real person.
No, not a real person, but he's
The
in
ogre.
some- yeah, yeah.
I had there was a show that our theater put on Shrek, and Tracy was the girl in it, and I think Jesse was Shrek.
Shrek, yeah.
And
I wasn't in it back
I
then,
think
but I
the
heard about
king in Shrek was the voice of John Cleese,
Oh.
and John Cleese, who I saw. So it all comes around.
Ah.
In fact, my nephew, who's kind of young, he only knew John Cleese from Shrek. I said, "Oh, of course, from Shrek."
Yeah.
That's how,
Yeah.
Well, however people know, I always feel that if you really like a performer in a show or something, look to see what else they've done,
Yeah.
because they've probably done a lot of good stuff.
Yeah.
I once saw, I remember loving when I was a kid, the Jackie Gleason show.
Yeah.
So I went to look to see the show he did before The Honeymooners called Life of Riley, which he replaced William Bendix. And it wasn't very good. And I thought I'd get the Jackie Gleason that I get from The Honeymooners and from the from the Jackie Gleason show, or the Smokey and the Bandit, and it was nothing like that. So people sometimes have to move along.
Yeah.
Sometimes you see old episodes of The Simpsons or old episodes of King of the Hill, when they started out before they got into their groove, even old episodes of Seinfeld. And they're not as good as it takes a while sometimes to get into the groove of the characters and everything, what they mean and everything.
Yeah.
Now this show was you were just wonderful from the get-go, right out the starting gate.
Yeah.
I'm still working. I'm still a work in progress.
Yeah.
Anyway, Mary, it was a wonderful inviting me to be on your show tonight.
Yes, it was wonderful. Yes.
And thanks for having me.
Yes.
It's going to be a good 2023.
Yes, it is, because we got a lot to do. So
A lot of show business talk this time.
Yes. And it's good having y'all watching us, and we love you all. God bless. Take care.